Hi, I'm Yvonne Davis, and I'm here to answer the questions. So, the first question is, what was my original goal for the class? And the first thing I would say is my goal for the program has been to learn more about documentary filmmaking because I have a YouTube channel and I felt like that was a direction that I could move in that I could actually achieve in my lifetime. So I wanted to learn more about doing that because I already have a platform. I just want to expand my capacity for filmmaking and use that platform and then maybe grow beyond that platform. Did I meet those goals? Well, first, let me say that was my goal for the program. My goal for this particular class was to get as much writing on the page as possible, because I always feel like that first draft is the hardest one. Once I've got something on the page, then I can keep working with it, years into the future. But just getting that on the page is the hardest part. And that was my primary goal for this class. And did I meet those goals? I did like the stories that I wrote. And I think I probably could have done one more short screenplay. So I would have been happy to push myself that far because I love to write. So I would say yes, but I could have happily done more. One of the primary things I learned about myself as a writer is my weakness is self-discipline, because even though I always meet my deadlines and I always try to make my work the best it can be when I submit it, I know that I could be more disciplined just to get as much on the page as I possibly could. I think one of the things that I learned is that I have a passion for certain subjects. And I think that I'm more productive if I stick with the things I'm passionate about. So you can probably tell I'm passionate about science fiction, and environmentalism. And also do like human drama, understanding the psychology of humans, why they do the things that they do. And so, I just think that I do better when I stick with the things that I'm passionate about. What do I need to continue to work on? Definitely self-discipline and productivity. What I would say about applying the class content to my life, professionally and personally, is that because I see myself fundamentally as a writer, artist, and storyteller, even in my YouTube channel, even in doing the astrology, fundamentally, I'm still an artist and a storyteller and an entertainer. And so for me, it really is about just wanting to get words on the page. And so in terms of the class content, I'm open to all kinds of writing, whether it's short stories, novels, memoirs, screenplays, or poetry, or virtually any kind of writing. I always see it as practice, because I think you can learn from all different forms of writing. It's like cross training, and it makes you more effective in whatever form you're writing in. So it is really good to learn screenplay writing because it makes me think cinematically, and so that it pushes me to show rather than tell, and to think about what can the audience actually see on the screen. How can I convey an idea in a way that's a visual or auditory, or even if I'm touching on, in writing, not particularly in a screenplay, but in writing in general, with concrete sensory detail, as opposed to abstract ideas. Since you're asking me to have my current self communicate something to my past self, to me, really, I think that aside from everything that I learned and did in this class, which was all wonderful, I think the thing that really knocked me off my feet was encountering the show Chernobyl. Looking at the script written by Craig Mazin and watching the show, I watched all 5 episodes. And so I know that he played more roles than just as writer. I think he was also the director and an executive producer. And so I see him as really being the guiding force for this program. I don't know technically if he would be considered the showrunner, but I am going to do some research on him. I want to know what is his bio, how did he get to the point where he's able to make this show, and also how much money did it cost? There's a lot of information that I want to understand, because I think that that's the way to understand what kind of paths do you need to take to be able to reach the point where you could do something like this. How much does it cost? Who do you need to know? How do you meet those people? And then study a script, study the scripts for shows like this. Learn how to write something really good. And then find a way to get your work out there one way or another. And, if you're lucky, someday all the pieces might come together where you're able to do something like this. And to me, that is that would be a life goal for me, to be able to accomplish something like this. I think that someday I would actually like to rewrite that script. And I think that maybe if it could be a little bit longer and go into more depth about the characters, because what was interesting is that the story was based on a character who's addicted to Second Life. And just this past month, while I was in the screenwriting class, I actually ran across a documentary on Netflix called Life 2.0. And it was about people who are addicted to Second Life. And, some good things that have come out of it, but also some pretty destructive things. It was a mixture. I think that they were balanced in terms of the people that they chose to talk about, who I would describe as being addicted to Second Life. And I'm also interested in the topic because I'm interested in our concepts of reality. Like, what is reality? What is the nature of reality? How do humans relate to reality? Because I don't think it's a simple black and white. I think it's more experiential. And I think that that's something that we humans really need to understand and explore, and not take it for granted. Not take for granted that we understand what reality is, but get curious about it and explore it. And to be able to really go deeply into that, I think the story needs to be longer and go more in depth into character development. So that's what I would want to do, is to expand the story and go more in depth into character development.